This is game 2 of a best of 2 in JDL Season 4 American Division 1. Pain Gaming up against THD. The house is down. Pain Gaming was able to take one in about game 1, I should say, in about 45 minutes. Very convincing mid-game for them. Early game, very even for both sides, but unfortunately, Jubilee used Meepo, just not able to get enough done. Liposa on the Razor went for the Midas and wasn't so effective in the mid-game as well. 4DRs like and free farming in the safe lane proved to be too much for THD. Pain Gaming will be playing up on the dire side now. They're going to ban out Jubilee U's Meepo. Hug sent out to Gemo BG. Yeah, I caught that in chat. You guys want it, you get it. And you'll definitely get some Brazilian Dota too. This is MRP. I am Marge. Please, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster. You can follow me over on Twitter at MRP_Dota. Of course, this is HeflaTV. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, and over on youtube.com/HeflaMoke, where all the VODs from all the games will be up, and I will throw these up as soon as the game is over, so be ready and waiting for those if you missed anything. Once again, game 2, Pain up 1-zip. Pain currently sitting at 6th place overall at 5-2. THD now at 3-2 in 7th. So we'll see if THD able to recover a win here or if they drop to 500. Death Prophet going to be picked up here as the first pick from Pain Gaming. Very strong pick for King RD in the mid. Grant XD going to be back here. So James on the Weaver was playing as a stand-in for them in game 1. And it looks like you guys flamed him in chat and they kicked him for you. Unless he just had a name change. Either way, full squad ready for Pain. Ned going to stand in once again for THD in that 4 or 5 role. He did play up on the Skywrath Mage last game. Vengeful Spirit going to be picked up here for Pain once again. So we'll see if VSW going to pick that up. Again on the Vengeful Spirit, synergizes very well with the minus armor, with the physical damage, of course, of the exorcisms. So Death Prophet going to be made a little more potent. Swap magic missile combo, also very good for the DP, able to get a target very close to her, able to allow her to close in on a target. And of course, the damage that exorcism done is proportional to the distance from the target, just by virtue of the fact that spirits have to go out, do an instance of damage, come back to the Death Prophet, and then go out again. So if they're very close to the Death Prophet, a lot more damage instances will happen per unit of time. Take a look at the bans here. Meepo, as I mentioned, banned out from Pain Gaming. Centaur Warrunner as well. That would definitely put a fork in their plans. He's able to initiate and burst down the Death Prophet fairly easily. And if you burst down a Death Prophet, especially after she uses that exorcism, she's pretty useless to buy back. Skywrath Mage going to be banned out as well, so they don't want to deal with that Ancient Steel Concussive Shot. And they're going to ban out the Phantom Assassin from the side of Pain Gaming. Legion Commander, interesting ban here from THD. They're going to take that out, and it looks like they will run perhaps a core Jakiro here, as Legion Commander pretty damn good if she's able to get the dual blink duel off, on that Jakiro. So Batrider, Earthshaker, Jakiro will be the first 3 for THD. This still leaves them with a bit of flexibility here. Jakiro, Earthshaker is a decent roaming support combo, better lane support combo for sure, and so they could run that Jakiro in that role. They do have a lot of pick potential with this Batrider, so there is a bit of variance in their draft, but I would expect this, as in the manner that it's been picked up, to be a core Jakiro, and perhaps THD will look to take it to Pain Gaming early. Going to get a little bit of push of their own with that Liquid Fire up against the Exorcism and fight fire literally with fire. So we'll see if either Liposa or Jubilee U pick up this Jakiro. I doubt it'll go mid, where Yuka usually plays, so we will see what ends up happening with that. And the Faceless Void going to be picked up here from Pain Gaming. It's nice to finally meet you, Mace to face. So we're going to see that FV be picked up, and this is the first time I've seen him be picked up in the JDL thus far. I haven't, of course, casted all the games. There have been many games in JDL, but have been casting it for the last few days. And interestingly enough, we will see the Omni Knight. So pretty damn good hero versus that Faceless Void. This will ensure that we will see a core Jakiro. As I mentioned, they will actually pick up the Faceless Void after the Ancient Apparition ban. So Ancient Apparition synergizes well with the Void, is also a counter to the Void in a sense with that Ice Blast, and of course the Ice Vortex to slow him down. But there is now the Purification, which does pure damage to the Void if it's not backtracked, and heals up his target. There's also the Repel, there's also the Guardian Angel, so unless he get an he gets an Aghanims up, the Omni Knight is going to have to be pretty close to the Chrono, and that's going to render him a little bit susceptible to the rest of the team from the side of the Faceless Void, but he will be able to get that Guardian Angel off and mitigate any physical damage, so pretty much any kill potential to the Chrono target. So I like this pickup on the Omni Knight from THD. It looks like they have quite a bit of sustain in their lineup. However, I do feel that with an Earthshaker, Jakiro, Omni Knight, core, and support duo, they kind of have gone a little bit contradictory with that Batrider pickup. If he's able to pick someone off, they don't have the best lineup to burst that person down unless they use the full toolkit of the Earthshaker. They have more of a sustain, pushing lineup, long range initiation with the Earthshaker to zone people out from those tower pushes, and it will be interesting to see. But now Pain Gaming going to pick up the Silencer here, so perhaps their third core will go to the safe lane with 40R, and they will put the Void in the off lane, and King RD will take up that Death Prophet surely in the mid. So now they have the Global Silence to cover the Chrono, so definitely does counter up that Omni Knight. So counter back-to-back counter from these teams in this draft. So very well played from both teams, a little bit wise. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how things play out here, as we will definitely see some engagements that are decided completely by execution. So going to be interesting to see whether the Omni Knight will prevail over the Silencer. Of course, Repel does take off the Global Silence if it is used after, but the Omni Knight himself will have to be magic immune in order to do that, or not catch that Global Silence. So it's going to be very difficult. It doesn't seem like he'll get up a BKB. He can probably cast it on himself, though. I'm not sure exactly how that mechanic works, but I believe he can cast Repel on himself. It may not work. He may just be silenced. Either way, Shadow Fiend gonna round out the lineup from THD. So very peculiar lineup here. They will be able to drag back a target with the lasso into that Requiem of Souls from Shadow Fiend, so that's going to be interesting. They do have pick-off potential in that sense, but Shadow Fiend doesn't add a lot in terms of push. However, he of course is just a very good hero with that Omni Knight. He's able to build up into damage with that Repel as a free BKB. I believe at level 1 it's a 6-second cast, and Invoker will be the pickup from Pain Gaming. So two very interesting drafts. It looks like we will have a support Silencer from the side of Pain Gaming. This is something I'm really not a fan of at all, but obviously they're comfortable running it. Grant XD gonna take to the off lane with that Faceless Void. King RD actually gonna go to the mid with the Invoker, and we will see a safe lane Death Prophet perhaps, unless 4DR is just a little bit more comfortable on that Death Prophet and King RD on the safe lane Invoker, which makes more sense in terms of lanes. And as I had mentioned in game 1, King RD and 4DR both very flexible with their roles, either of them playing in the 1 and the 2. So Shadow Fiend here gonna round out the lineup for THD. Will be interesting to see how they're able to play this. Omni Knight, as I mentioned, good hero to synergize with the Shadow Fiend, but then they have some push, and then they have some initiation with the Batrider. So very jack of all trades like lineup coming out from THD here. I was gonna leave the overlay on. You guys could have watched that for the next few minutes, but either way, let's get into the game here. Gonna have an instant pause once again, so hopefully we will figure out these connection issues. But either way, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I am Morris, please, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster. You can follow me over on Twitter at MRP_Dota. Hopefully we can get this game underway for you. I'm actually lagging just a bit as well, so hopefully everything's been rectified. Liposa is ready, and it looks like we will unpause here, so gonna be very interesting. Game 2, JDL Season 4 American Division 1, Pain Gaming versus THD. The house is down. I'm going to introduce the lineup for the house is down. Liposa taken to that one position. Jakiro, core Jakiro in the safe lane. He's accompanied by Vestius, who is once again playing on that Earthshaker, looking pretty pimp with that nose ring. Ned going to pick up the Omni Knight, and so they will be not fearing any heresy towards this safe lane. Ned gonna babysit up that Jakiro. They will have a lot of kill potential in this lane if they grab up at least one level in the ice path, and they are able to close on a hero. If they may run dual lanes though, Vestius probably just gonna block up the lane for Grant XD, who's or actually sorry, I should say Jubilee U, wrong team there, taking up the off lane on the Batrider. And in the mid, Shadow Fiend going to be picked up here by Yuka. Had a very poor game on the puck, was zoned quite out of lane last game, so hopefully will be able to redeem himself here. On the dire side, Pain Gaming going to have 4DR. Yep, playing in the mid on that Death Prophet, so does switch from the role of 1 to 2 often, and he is going to be switching with King RD in this game, who's going to take the Invoker towards the safe lane. We've got Baga on Nortrum, the Silencer, going into the safe lane as a support for Silencer, it seems, and in the mid, or on the 4 Venge, we will see VSW, and of course, to the off lane, Grent XD, going to be picking up Faceless but not Maceless, the Void. So interesting to see how he will fare. He should have a pretty poor time in this off lane, and Vestius did just block up the creep wave here with a Fisher for Jubilee U, and we'll actually rotate towards the off lane. So it looks like we'll see dual lanes being run here from THD. Interesting choice from them. Already we have VSW rotating into the mid lane, aggressing onto Yuka. And looks like Yuka will be fine. He's defensively postured at this point. He doesn't have any rotations in. But bot lane, Grant XD is going to be harassed out a bit by Ned as well as Liposa. No degen aura here for the first level for Ned, so he will be able to run around fairly freely. Yuka has no stacks yet in his Necromastery, and yet, or no souls I should say. He finally finds his first one, so 4DR does have a little bit of help in the lane early to ensure a little bit of a CS advantage, who generally you see the SF scale with. VSW rotates up to the top to join King RD as well as Baga, and there will now be this defensive try up against the dual lane of Jubilee U and Vestius, who is currently hiding in the trees pretty defensively, so is only level 1. And Baga's actually skilled Glaives of Wisdom at level 1, so interesting pickup from him. Grant XD in the bot lane. Not too worried right now. He is copping quite a bit of liquid fire spam. He has opted for this first level in Backtrap. The value point there is obviously huge with the 10% dodge chance of pretty much anything coming his way. Jubilee U gonna aggress onto top lane, interestingly, into the 3-man aggressive try. 3 stacks of sticky napalm. Fisher's gonna go out onto Baga. Doesn't get a right click in. There is a magic missile here, but no reinitiation, as perhaps Jubilee U going in knowing that there's a Glaives of Wisdom skilled up and there isn't any nuke damage ready from Baga here. So take a look at this mid lane matchup for the moment. 11-5 is the CS of 4DR up against the 6-1 of Yuka, who now does have 7 souls perhaps, and he does have those 7 souls up, so on his way to the level 1 maximum, which is 15, and should be just fine to last hit thereafter. Grant XD hasn't found much in the spot lane. He does have 4 last hits to the 3 of Jubilee U's Batrider, which is actually very nice for him, and he is sitting at level 3.5. Jubilee U almost finding his level 3 here. He actually gets his clarity cancelled by a creep, unfortunately, and we'll take a look at the SF, who did not pick up a bottle quite yet, has 597 gold, and actually VSW going for a courier snipe is going to get scouted up by Vestius, but Yuka is here with a level 2 Shadow Rays, and he should be able to clean him up. This should be your first blood, and they'll even give it over to Yuka, but actually the tower is going to find the kill. So unfortunately, no first blood gold going anywhere. But they do find a nice little kill here. Yuka will find his level 4 as he nukes that wave down. 4DR also at level 4 in this mid lane and has a little bit of a CS advantage, but a nice kill for Yuka and Vestius nonetheless. They do know Jubilee U is alone in this lane now, but they don't have the Vengeful with them. And Baga is only level 2 with a level 1 last word. He will pop that onto Jubilee U, who will take it to the face and drop a little bit low. He has no regeneration here, but he should be able to pick up his Tranquils fairly soon. And Vestius can bring him some regeneration if he chooses to do so, but looks like he will go towards the mid lane. They are going to make this courier flying, so there is no more attempt for a courier snipe from Pain. Last game, THD Ned was actually able to get the courier snipe here, as we saw the first blood occur mid. So it looks like Pain wanted to return the favor, but we're unable to do so. Yuka's pretty low in the mid lane, but the courier should come out with a bottle fairly soon, and it looks like that is the case. EG throwing out a bottle towards Yuka, and he may just crow it here, as it looks like the runes are pretty much secured by the side of Pain. We actually will see Ned go down and get the bottom one, so perhaps he secures that for his SF. He will actually just pick it up, and it looks like Yuka may just wait for the next rune. They've blocked in 4DR here, though. Very nice Fisher from Vestius. Couple right clicks. Easy kill for THD. 2-0 is your score. 4.5 minutes into the game. And once again, they're starting well. They certainly started well last game, but into the mid game got a little bit out executed by the side of Pain. Liposa, though, could be the first death here. Nicely placed tornado by King RD. He rotates down to the bot lane, and they're going to need one more right click. He does have a boots advantage on this Void, and the Invoker will finish him off here. Even a Wave of Terror assisting from Vengeful Spirit VSW, and we will have Grent rotate back into lane. He should find some farm as well. Meanwhile, mid lane Purification, Fisher block not quite enough to block in 4DR. If that works again from Vestius, they probably find that kill. There's no swap here. There is a magic missile, but of course pretty low. And actually Silencer gonna get picked off by Jubilee U. Baga taking a fall in the top lane. Sorry for missing that one, guys. That's 3-1 is your score. Aside from THD, that's a huge kill for this Batrider, who now is able to pick up his Tranquils. He will find some lane sustainability here. Perhaps could get caught out by VSW, but it doesn't seem like they have vision of one another, as that's the vision for both sides. And actually, this Observer Ward here will scout out VSW at this point. Gren XD taking some harass from that Liquid Fire from Liposa, who's gone down once, has 942 gold though and 30 CS, topping the board, tied with 4DR in the mid lane. And for the moment, things will stagnate. Almost 6 minutes into the game, your score is 3-1 for favor of THD. Yuka gonna clean up mid lane with all his mana pool there. He does now have 28 souls, which is pretty much max. He's one away from max at that level 3 Necromancer. He will find this bounty rune, and we'll take a little bit of harass, presumably from Baga. He does catch a last word, and there is not a lasso here, but there is some napalm stacks. They will go into Baga. Nice Fisher block from the mid lane from Vestius. One last right click. Yuka gonna find another kill. And this 4 position Silencer not having a great time. Baga already 0-2, dying to the Batrider, now dying middle lane to Yuka. And this could be huge transitioning. This is why I'm not a big fan of the Silencer support. Without farm, this hero is pretty underwhelming. He's not able to steal a lot of int. He doesn't have a lot of base HP, and he's not very tanky at all. So strength gain is decent and base strength is decent as well, but without farm, he really needs levels to be effective. Really needs to get that duration up on the global silence, as well as max out that last word nuke, and even the curse if he's able to build an Aghanim Scepter. So already the Silencer pretty much at the bottom of the net worth chart, tied at about 900 with both the Vengeful Spirit and the Omni Knight. 4DR is warding the high ground here, perhaps was electing maybe to do so. He does pick up his bottle now, so just looking to find this rune, which is not there. He will ward the high ground and back off. He was a little bit out of position there, but he wasn't scouted out by either Ned or the Jakiro from Liposa. So Grunt XD has found quite a bit on this Void in the bot lane. He's sitting at 14 last hits. Taking a look at the last hit chart, that is pretty much on par with Jubilee U, who has also found a solo kill. So he's sitting at level 6, sitting pretty on this Batrider. But we do have a level 7 Grent XD. He did find the kill on that one position Jakiro, which is very nice. Cold Snap, however, with the EMP goes out here, and there's no mana for a Firefly, which is also on cooldown. King RD and VSW going to find a nice kill on that level 6 Batrider, and that's going to slow down his blink timing quite a bit. Grant XD is available in this mid lane with a Chronosphere, and it does synergize very well with the Exorcism if they're able to get it off on a couple of heroes, but they will think better of it for the time being. Interesting pickup from King DR. There's going to be an engagement in the river, however. VSW Shadow Rays down by Yuka. Exorcism is committed here. Vestius does not have a Fisher for quite a while, but he's going to get purified, and Shadow Rays from the high ground from Yuka. He's going to juke into the trees. The Exorcism does finish off the Earthshaker here. Will it? It does not, actually, and the lasso onto 4DR. Yuka's going to survive here but with the Purify. They will not bring down the Vestius, who does finally fall on the backside to the Void, and he has a Chronosphere available, does Grant XD. Magic Missile here. Is the Chronosphere going to catch Ned? It does as well. EMP goes out. It is going to hit on Ned too. He's out of mana. Grant XD not enough quite for a time walk, but he will have enough now. They should finish him off too. And it looks like it'll be a 3-for-1. Vestius did end up falling on the Earthshaker on the backside to those illusions from Grant XD. So very nice fight for Pain Gaming. It actually ends up being a 3-for-2. Vengeful Spirit did go down early to that Shadow Rays in the river about here. We did see the Earthshaker fall at that point, and we did see, of course, the very nice Chrono placed from the low ground to the high ground by Grant XD. It catches the Omni Knight walking into it, as well as the target that they ended up killing, which was Jubilee U's Batrider. So very well played by both Grant XD and King RD, overlapping their abilities there. And with the EMP, they're able to clean up both the Batrider and the Omni Knight. And that's huge for Grant XD, who's now picked up a Morbid Mask. He's well on his way to his Mask of Madness here. And that's going to be a very good pickup. Of course, they do have a Quaswex Invoker, which is not all that often played anymore. So King RD won't be able to support him with a Sunstrike. But he does have the EMP, which also works pretty well with the Chrono. Of course, it's not global presence there. But he will have to... attend the fights to be effective. Regardless, he picks up an Oblivion Staff on the way to that Orchid, is farming pretty well, just under Yuka's Shadow Fiend thus far, who they weren't able to kill off in that mid-engagement, which is a saving grace, so to speak, for THD. He was able to juke upwards into the trees here and come back down, and the lasso on 4DR taking him this way was able to save Yuka with one last purification from Ned, keeping him up from that curse. So Yuka is farming well. He looks like he may build into a Crystallis here. I'm not sure exactly what he's going with that Claymore. Either way, he's going to build up into a damage item, so pretty good for the Shadow Fiend here. He's bringing that out on the Courier, and he does have his bottle as well. EMP from the high ground, as well as the Wave of Terror. One more right click. Jubilee gonna fall in the top lane. King RD finds another kill on this Invoker, sitting at 700 gold, and that is very, very good for him at this point. So we will see what he ends up getting as in terms of a timing for that Orchid. Meanwhile, bot lane, Chronosphere committed onto Liposa. Last word is there for a nice nuke, but the purification into Grant XD. Liposa is currently unarmed, and one last right click from those Glaives of Wisdom for Baga gonna hit him. So very nicely played with the last word overlapping with that Chronosphere. He wasn't able to get a spell off to pop the silence, and therefore he got disarmed as well. Was not able to bring down Grant XD, who he is able to retreat there, and he should now pick up his Mask of Madness. He has 1,000 gold on this Faceless Void. That's going to be a huge pickup for them, and he will be able to find a little bit more solo kill potential. He does find his treads, actually, so he will forego the Mask of Madness for now. Treads do give a decent amount of attack speed. It also tanks him up, so not a terrible decision here from Grant XD. He will find the Mask of Madness fairly soon, and I don't think anyone's going to fault him for that. He is sitting just below the one position Jakiro for Liposa, who looks like he'll build into a Rod of Aoi or a Rod of Atos with already the 2 Staff of Wizardries up. Not a bad item here, but I kind of would like to see the Yules. Yules can be used defensively up against the Chronosphere, and it can also be used offensively to set up free ice paths for this Jakiro. So a little bit of a weird build in that Rod of Aoi. Shadowblade is going to be the pickup from Yuka. Don't know why I didn't think of that. Claymore, duh. Broadsword is to make Chrysalis, not Claymore. Derp, but either way, throwback build a little bit from the SF. I would have liked to see something a little more damage oriented from him, perhaps a Desolator, perhaps just a Yasha, as there is the Omni Knight there to keep him alive, but he will have some sort of initiation. He will be able to cast the Requiem of Souls from this, and perhaps he chooses to do so here. He's gonna pop it here, and boom, blows up King RD before the EMP even gets off. Easy kill. Jubilee is in a bit of trouble here, though, from the low ground. VSW gonna come in with the Magic Missile as well as the Wave of Terror in his face. Grant XD is available here, but no Chronosphere, and they're gonna actually catch Liposa out. Ned is there with a Purification, gonna heal him up, but not gonna hit anyone, and Grant XD gonna back off. Meanwhile, VSW is gonna be caught here. He does have the swap. He can swap himself out, and he actually chooses to use a Magic Missile instead. I would have liked the decision from him to swap. That would have put 3 heroes into the tree line. Either way, Vestia's gonna drop to the Exorcism there as well. Yuka falls, and looks like they'll be able to chase down Ned too, who's in the tree line, trying to juke backwards. Nicely played by 4DR. EMP is there. They'll block him in, and that'll finish him off with one last Crypt Swarm from 4DR hitting just before the EMP, and the Exorcism will be able to put a lot into this tower. Looks like a 3-for-1 in the top lane. The Vengeful did go down. Actually, the Invoker for King RD goes down a little bit early, so 3-for-2, I would say, and they are able to get that Yuka Shadow Fiend. So there's no glyph yet available anymore. Was just used from the side of THD. There will be a deny attempt here, though, and Jubilee cheeky play from the trees, does get the deny off. So a little bit of undisciplined play from Pain. In the meantime, Liposa going to take out the towers simultaneously in the mid. So 2 towers to 1 is the score so far for THD. Magic Missile, however, into the face of Liposa. Swap backwards as well. Actually, the EMP casted a bit forward, so VSW saving Liposa's life momentarily. But King RD going to finish him off with a long-range tornado there. And a little bit of miscommunication there. Meanwhile, 4DR is being chased down by Yuka. He even pops the Shadow Blade, but Dust going to come out here and it'll stave off any aggression for the time being and deter what Yuka thought may be a charge for a kill. He'll clean up the wave here with a couple shadow raises, and it looks like he is building into a BKB, interestingly enough, so he will save that repel from the Omni Knight for another priority hero such as the Bat Rider to allow him to jump in freely. And that's a pretty decent decision from him. I don't mind it at all, but it is a very standard build from the SF, and often you pick up that Omni Knight with the SF to allow him to go a little bit more of a greedy build, a little bit more of a damage-centric build. But we have item pickups galore here. The first and probably most crucial one to mention is Jubilee U, 14 minutes, almost 15 minutes in the game, has finally picked up his Blink Dagger, 1 and 4 and 3 on this Bat Rider, so pretty damn good timing for having 4 deaths. He does finally have his Blink. He does not have a level 2 lasso and won't for a little while, but either way, the level 1 duration should be just enough, 3 seconds there, and he will be able to pull back a target pretty cleanly from this. Jump forward, Chronosphere in the top lane. Vestius going to be soloed out. They're even going to use the silence to stop Ned from healing him. Very nice synergy of abilities there from Pain. Grant XD going to find a free kill. In the bot lane, they're going to find the tier 1, but Yule's up into the Ice Path. A nice defensive Yule's here by 4DR. She'll pop the Exorcism and go into Liposa here, and is really close, but the Liquid Fire is probably going to tick her down, and she will get one last glancing Crypt Swarm off as she falls. Meanwhile, Lasso onto VSW, going to bring him back, going to hit into an Ice Path as well. There's the Dual Breath, should tick down here. They tried to save the last hit for Yuka, but not been able to get there in time. Clean 2 for nil in the bot lane, so Grant XD finds one in the top lane. They do lose the tier 1 here, but 4DR ends up falling on the Death Prophet, and a nice little swing of golden experience, 1,000 and 2,200 respectively, going the way of THD. But they do lose their tier 1, and actually in the mid lane, looks like Ned, the Omni Knight, caught out. Apologize for missing that one, guys. Not sure why an Omni was that far forward by himself. Yuka is going to find Baga here. It's going to look to raise him down. One last raise. Very well played from Yuka, but he is caught out of position here. Leap forward from the void. They're going to scout him out. They're going to dust him as well. Magic Missile. A little bit of greed from Yuka. He's going to fall here. Gets Orchided up. Few last right clicks. Won't be able to get any kill potential onto NSW, and King RD will pick that up. He's picked up the Invoker on the the Orchid on the Invoker, I should say. Very nice pickup for him. Also had a GG rune in tow for the moment being, and he will not elect to put any damage into that mid lane tower. Either way, we'll look at some more item progression from both teams. Eul Scepter was opted for by Liposa, so not sure why he bought those 2 Staffs of Wizardry. Perhaps he just panic bought one before dying a little earlier, but he does go for the Eul Scepter, which is certainly the better build if you ask me, up against that Faceless Void, and it did net them a kill bottom lane onto 4DR. So 4DR's found his drums as well as his Eul, so he's got his core early mid-game items for this Death Prophet and should be just fine. Interestingly enough, I was complaining about the lack of levels on the Silencer, and you do see Baga go for a Recovery Midas on this 4-position Silencer, and I don't mind that choice at all. It will help him catch up in levels. You take a look currently, and he is... we'll take a look at the hero's levels currently, and he is near the bottom of the pack, so that Midas will help him recover, will help him get a guaranteed level 2, but a jump in lasso on top lane onto Grand XD. Fish are going to go out as well. Purification, and he's going to burn down to the fire from Jubilee U. Global Silence is going to come out a little too late from Baga, and they're actually going to waste that cooldown as well, so now they know they can go for this tower with ease. Liquid Fire is going to melt it down. Liposa going to find the last hit there. In the mid lane, Yuka's been Eul'd up, and he's pretty damn low, but he's able to Shadow Blade and get away, and the Ice Path will not be there, but the Euls will be there for King RD. He's also going to get hit with the Dual Breath. He can turn in a second with this Orchid if he chooses to do so, but he's actually going to tick down quite low, and the Ice Path is barely going to miss, so a nice Ghost Walk from him will get him away, and he'll retreat towards the mid lane at this point. He does have one Urn Charge if he chooses to use that. Bottom lane, 4DR is going to get chased down, and we're going to look for a Tornado here from the Invoker. Perhaps he catches out a few. He'll actually just Orchid up Vestius and clean him up here. And Eul Scepter defensively onto 4DR. He'll be able to silence and try and run away. Cold Snap as well onto Jubilee U, but Yuka gonna finish off the Invoker there. King RD a little too aggressive. 4DR gonna try and juke into the trees and TP out. And there's no Flame Break available, and he will get away. So they do trade a clean 1-for-1 Earthshaker for the Invoker. Certainly not worth it for the side of Pain, but they stop the bleeding. They mitigate their losses here, and they are able to get that Death Prophet out. Either way, BKB being ferried over for this Shadow Fiend, and they will have quite a bit of fighting potential. When that is up, they'll be able to repel that Bat Rider as he jumps in. So free lasso back into the team. Requiem of Souls will probably connect on that. And they also have the BKB for the Shadow Fiend at 10 seconds for him to run around. So at level 4, even when that BKB is down to 5 seconds, they will have that 12-second repel. So potentially 17 seconds of spell immunity for this SF. Regardless, that will definitely keep him up for a while. But there is the Exorcism, from 40R, which will penetrate any magical immunity as it is physical damage. And there is a 4-man smoke movement. Jubilee U in the front lines. He's got his blink ready. He may find Gren XD here, and the perfect target to get, bringing down that Chronosphere. They will have an Ice Path as well. That's going to land. Fisher as well going to overlap, and the Flame Break and the Purification will be what grabs the last hit for Ned there. So they couldn't quite get Yuka in position to raise, and they do just end up finishing him off, not wanting to be corralled by that Chronosphere. 4 of them would have been within the range of that Chrono, and they could have came in with King RD with a EMP Tornado that would have done a lot of work. Yuka, however, is in the bot lane. It looks like he may channel up the Requiem of Souls here. King RD is Ghost Walked as well, and we will see a Cold Snap onto the creeps. So a little bit early. It actually looks like he took the creep down that was being TP'd onto. And Exorcism going to be popped here. Orchid up onto Vestius' Earthshaker. They're going to chase towards Yuka. The Tornado's not going to be there. The Yules does not dodge the Requiem. And 40R a little too late on the Yules. Once again, Earthshaker for a core in the bot lane. Certainly not worth it for Pain. Jubilee U not going to be able to get here in time with a Flame Break to stop the Invoker from TPing, but either way, not a very good trade once again for the side of Pain, and they're not looking great in this mid lane. It looks like we will see a Force Staff picked up, so mobility build from King RD as you would expect with a Quaswex Invoker. Baga a little bit out of position here. He's not going to get scouted out, however, by Liposa, and should be just fine. He's building into that Aghanim Scepter. He has Max Curse thus far, and he's going to get pinged out and spotted by this Observer Ward here, so Ice Path is available with the Yule Scepter. Ice Path going to drop, Dual Breath as well. Liquid Fire going to go out, but there is support in tow from Grant XD. Baga will... And interesting disconnect. Liposa a little bit... a little bit salty about that one. Not that it's going to matter. Baga should... Let's take a guess here. I feel like he should get out. He's about to port. Liquid Fire and Dual Breath are burning him down, but he should be able to get that Fountain regen up in time. Grant XD is available with a Chronosphere, and Mask of Madness is down for 7 seconds. So perhaps, because he does have the Time Leap buff here, he should just put a right click or two, wait for that Mask of Madness, then Chronosphere, as he knows Ice Path is down, as is the Yule Scepter. So we'll see how Grant chooses to play this. Should put a right click or two, wait for that Mask of Madness to cool down, and then go. It looks like he's building into the Maelstrom as well on this Faceless Waves, for obvious reasons, is a good build. And they do have some support in tow, however, from King RD, so he doesn't really need to wait out that Mask of Madness. He can just drop the Chrono. They don't know what is behind Liposa at this point. They can't see much else in lane. And he will just put a few right clicks, wait for that Mask of Madness, as I mentioned. Chrono's on the edge to make sure there's no support in this way. And they will clean him up easily. He even saves that Mask, as King RD was rotating in with the Ghost Walk. Baga does also make it out, as I mentioned. And it looks like 40 are going to disconnect once again on the Death Prophet. So very huge survive from Baga here, because he's on his way to his Aghanims. He was able to pick up 2 pieces of that. He's still got 400 gold. 40 are now back in the game. Is assuming building into that Hex, which is a very nice item for their team. They will be able to chase down the Shadow Fiend. They haven't been able to pick Yuka off once, or much, I should say. He is 6-2. It looks like he may find a solo kill here onto VSW. One long-range raise should hit at this point, and actually Vestius from the low ground just going to Fisher him. So perhaps a good decision, as they don't want to walk uphill into potential danger this way. So Baga going to farm up mid for a bit. Got that Midas ready, so he's going to be well on his way to his Aghanims. He's about 1,500 gold from that at this point. Force Staff, however, is been picked up by Jubilee U, and it looks like Yuka ready to aggress onto Baga, but he does rotate back towards the tower in due time, and he will stave that aggression off for now. Ghost Walked King RD, however, is rotating in from the back lines, and he won't find anyone for the time being. Perhaps they saw this wave get cleared up by Liposa. Very good game sense from them, and they should find a free kill on this Invoker in the top lane. King RD is here with the Cold Snap and the Orchid. He is going to get used up, but Grant XD just going to pop that Mask of Madness. He's going to time walk to slow him down as well. One bash going to be enough. Tornado's actually going to hit on 2, so a little bit lucky placement there. Nice global silence from Baga, and Jubilee U going to have to back off for the time being, but he does have the lasso now. He has the Force Staff as well, and a nice time walk away from Grant XD. Blink forward, though, from Jubilee U. He's not going to get in range for the lasso, and unfortunately, he doesn't pick that up. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, though, Baga cleaned up to the Shadow Fiend, and there's no usage of the Requiem there, so he still can fight if he chooses to channel this on the high ground. This will be interesting. He doesn't BKB, however, and he gets tornadoed up. Interesting choice from Yuka. He BKBs now. He's going to get dusted up. He's looking to channel it, but he does have to back off, and the Exorcism going to be popped now. Lasso, though, forward onto Jubilee. Nice swap out from VSW. They're going to try and go forward. They're trying to chase the Bat Rider. Looks like everyone will be able to disengage, and Yuka going to try from the high ground for a Requiem. He's going to stop cast that once again. And it looks like 4DR is a little bit out of position here. He's chasing down Vestius. One Crypt Swarm. One Spirit needs to hit to clean up Vestius. It does, and they may find Yuka as well. But they do find Liposa on the backlines. He's going to get used up. VSW is in trouble here. Ice Path going to connect on 2. Here comes the Requiem. It is long range, though. King RD is still going to fall. 4DR going to be the next to drop. And they will end up bringing down both cores regardless. So once again, only the Earthshaker going down here. They did drop one a little bit earlier. Chronosphere onto Jubilee U from the backlines. There is an Ice Path, however. Grant XD, nice play by him. He's going to finish the kill and dodge it. But you guys here with one right click from the Shadow Blade, and Raise not even needed. And the SF now 8-2. Overall, very chaotic fight. Certainly win by THD. I think they could have had a much cleaner win if Yuka casts his BKB here. He gets off a Requiem on 2 heroes. And easy game, easy life. But he chooses to hold the BKB for that moment. Regardless, they're able to disengage using the cliffs with Jubilee U and everyone else. And they will bring down a tier 2 in the mid lane. Following that, Baga is a little bit lonely in this top lane. He's going to have to TP back to base. He is only a point booster, 1,000 gold away from that Aghanims. That'll be a nice pickup for the side of Pain, but THD certainly taking the advantage at this point. They've now crossed the barrier of equilibrium and are 1,000 gold generated, or 1,000 net worth, I should say, generated in their favor, as well as experience. So as you can see, a lot of comeback here from THD in both gold and experience, and I worry for the side of Pain if they're going to be able to get anything done. Maelstrom does come out here for Grant XD, and there was some sort of engagement. Bottom lane, Earthshaker caught out by himself. I thought the whole lineup of THD was here. Sorry for missing that one, guys. But either way, 3-man smoke. Jubilee U leading the way with that Blink Force available. He's going to find Grant XD. Easy force back into the Ice Path, which comes out before the Global Silence. Just a couple right clicks from Yuka, but actually one was backtrack. Swap forward onto Jubilee U. He's going to get Magic Missiled up. He's going to get Cursed and Last Worded, but he's going to get repelled, and that'll remove the debuffs, and they will be able to disengage here, as King RD could be in trouble in this mid lane. His Ghost Walk is on cooldown. He does have a Force Staff to the high ground, but Yuka probably going to channel up the Requiem here, and he actually stopped casted it for some reason or another. Perhaps he didn't have quite enough to kill off this Invoker. There was 1200 HP, but either way, he stopped cast that. Liposa does find the tower in the top lane here, guys, so that is eliminated, and that is the second to last outer tier tower. There's only one left for Pain, and it is sitting at 300 health points at this point, so Pain certainly worried in terms of structural damage. They still have 4 outer tier towers up on the side of THD, and they are all pretty healthy at this point, except for the mid lane tier 1, which is still over half, so not bad at all. King RD looking for Vestius in the bot lane. He is ghost walked up. He's waiting to see if there is support, and there will be support in tow from Liposa. They do kind of anticipate this. There is a Eul Scepter ready. Nicely placed Tornado should bring down Vestius. No, the Soul Burn is not enough. Grant XD gonna get Eul's up. He's gonna get Ice Path as well, and King RD perhaps could be caught out by the Bat Rider. He does have the lasso. He's gonna Force Staff forward. He's gonna find Grant XD. Meanwhile, Roshan gonna go down, but Grant XD is gonna be the trade-off. They use the Exorcism for the Roche, and looks like Pain's gonna have to back out. Is there a Flame Break here? There is not, as it was used against that Void, and they won't find much. Meanwhile, top lane tier 3 was being pushed in by Yuka, who was not involved in any of that, but he's only able to get about a third damage done, 600 damage or so off of that tier 3 in the top lane. Either way, 22-22 is your score. 28 minutes in He just was picked up by the Death Prophet. She's gone for a Lincoln Sphere. Interesting build, so you're not looking to get lassoed up. BKB this time was popped on the high ground by Yuka, but it seems to be a wasted one, and that's going to be his 8-second BKB. He's now at 7 seconds. Tornado is going to whiff, but they're going to Orchid him up, and he will actually be able to back out. Global Silence going to come out as well. There's the curse with it. 4DR may be the next target to fall. He's getting napalmed up. They do have a flame break at the ready. And he will Yules up the Batrider, but he's going to fall to the right clicks of Yuka. Nice Deafening Blast from the high ground. Not really going to matter. Jubilee U finishes him off with a Flame Break there. And they will know that the Invoker is around the corner. But 4DR going to get caught with an Ice Path. Easy kill. And will be finished off by the Fisher of Vestius. THD looking really good in this mid game. 1600 gold onto Jubilee U. If he wants that Mask of Madness, he can grab it, or perhaps is saving for those Boots of Travel. But with the Repel, I wouldn't mind the Mask of Madness pickup. We do finally have the Aghanims out for Baga here. He is sitting at level 13, so above all the supports, but still doesn't have that level 3 swap to the high ground. However, Vestius is going to get caught out here, and he should be brought down. Actually, a nice defensive force staff by Jubilee U, so good decision by him to wrap around and confuse Pain a bit, and therefore he gets out. Nice play, good chemistry from the THD players there. Liposa looking for someone to overextend, and it looks like they may sound the high ground push here. Ice Path is going to land on Baga. There will be a Raise or two available here, and he's going to get purged up and slowed down, and their one right last Fisher from the low ground from Vestius. Once again, he's been very, very diligent with the placings of his Fisher, knowing the exact range. And well played by him. He'll find another kill. 24-2. That'll spell the death of this T3. Manta is now popped by Yuka. And despite... Oh, they're going to jump in. Lasso onto King RD. Nice swap out, however. EMP not going to hit on many. They're going to be finding Jubilee U in the background. In the meantime, the Chronosphere did whiff, it seems, from Grant XT. Yuka is being chased down. However, Liposa is going to get forced down to the low ground. A nice force down as well from King RD. Will he be able to clean it up? No, jump in. Echo Slam on 2 from Vestius. Is going to sound the retreat for the rest of his squad, but he will pay with his life. And that's a team player there. He does what any good support should do. Tries to get his cores out. However, King RD with the Ghost Walk is going to be able to walk down Liposa here. And despite Yule's dodging, you're going to find him with a Crypt Swarm. 40 are going to find a triple kill in that engagement, and they're going to save both of their racks here. So this is the range. This will stay at 838 health. This should regen to full for the melee racks. So definitely a very costly engagement from THD. They throw a little bit of their advantage there. As you can see, the spike downwards in both experience and net worth. They'll finally take down this tier 1 in the mid. There isn't free glyph for them as it will refresh. And Ned's going to repel himself up from maybe looking to go in for a deny, but probably going to think better of it. And it looks like Pain will probably back off here. I believe they should. They don't have the Chronosphere up. It looks like Grand XD is building into a BKB. Probably would have opted for that point booster first if he was considering Aghanims. So interesting point in the game. A little bit of a turning point in that top lane. They only lose the tier 3, which was lost before the engagement even occurred. So gonna be very interesting to see if Pain is able to drag this back in their favor. Either way, things at about equilibrium in terms of experience. Top lane, King RD is going to find Yuka here. And they do Orchid him up. He's going to BKB and look for the Requiem. Nice force out. He's actually going to stop cast it, knowing that everyone was out of range. But once again, BKB charge used down to 5 seconds for Yuka. He's going to be much more killable and susceptible to this Orchid. If all they have to do is pop an Orchid on him, he's going to have to dispel that with the BKB. And they're probably going to be able to disengage and come back in just as they did in this instance, as well as in this instance here, and even elsewhere. They were able, even up the cliff here, they were able to run away from that Requiem. So he still does have the 12-second immunity from Omni Knight if they choose to use that on him as opposed to the Batrider. Speaking of the Batrider, scouting out bot lane, Jubilee U, he's not going to find King RD though, who has been very diligent using that Ghost Walk and now does have a gem as well, so they're going to bait out 4DR in the bottom lane. He was actually looking for that Yule's initiation on Jubilee U, but isn't going to find it at this point. And King RD, though, going to hit him with a tornado. There is going to be some follow-up here. He's going to get silenced by both the Invoker and the Death Prophet. Jump forward from Gren XD. Nice, though. Jump in. Echo Slam on 3. Silence is going to be a little bit late from Baga. They will be able to bring down Vestius. Beautiful chrono from Gren XD. He's blocked out from the Fisher, but the EMP will hit onto Yuka, and he'll have no mana left with the Exorcism up. They will be able to fight this, though. Yule's up. Ice Path, Dual Breath, and one light right click from Ned is going to finish off the Invoker. That's going to sound the retreat for Pain. Gem is on the deck, and they will pick it up for the side of THD. So nice little engagement for them. They lose 2, but they get the Invoker and the Gem. So fairly even trade. They even bait out the Exorcism here, which is down for quite a while now. And for RD, Gren XD, most of Pain gonna have to retreat and push out their lanes, which are amassing towards their base at this point. 2600 gold is available here for 4DR, so he'll farm this stack up and probably grab the Mystic Staff on his way to what is presumably a Shiva's. Do we find any other item progression at this point? Talisman Evasion and Eagle Horn available on Yuka. He is only a quarterstaff, so only 500 gold away from that butterfly, and that'll be huge at this point. No right clicks from the Void gonna hit him pretty much, or well, a mitigated amount of right clicks from the Void as well as from the Invoker. Yuka gonna invis up top lane. He's gonna go for Grant XD here. Probably can wipe him out with a Requiem. It'll be very close. If he pops that Mask of Madness to farm creeps, Yuka knows he can kill him here. And he will get used up into the Ice Path. Baga is available here, but easy kill with the Requiem. Fisher and a Shadow Raise. Gonna finish off the Silencer as well. Free 2-0 in the top lane for THD. This could spell perhaps a high ground push for them. 4DR is gonna meet up with the Venge in the mid lane. They're gonna get a Magic Missile out, but it will be disjointed. Nice reaction on the blink from Jubilee U. And 4DR is now susceptible to a lasso. They can force staff him forward, but he does Yule's up the Bat Rider here. Silence is there as well. They will get the Cold Snap off, but he'll get force staff to the low ground. Fisher on 2, Shadow Rays on 2 as well. King RD getting very low. He's going to throw out a Tornado, but he'll get hit by a Flame Break. One last Enchant Totem from Vestius. Going to pick him off. VSW, next target in the trees. He's actually going to swap up to the high ground. He will get hit with an Ice Pass, however. One last Purification from the Omni Knight, and there goes the Vengeful Spirit as well. We're taking a look at the buyback situation. Vengeful does not have one. Silencer is up soon. Both buybacks available on Invoker and Void, and you will see King RD buyback instantly for this defense. Gren XD does have the Chronosphere available as well. There is no unit wave up by the Raxes in the top lane at this moment, but it will march towards mid, and that's why you'll see 4DR take this out and not let it get to their base so they can't go for these exposed racks. However, Jubilee, you're going to jump in mid, but he's going to pop. Oh, he actually just pops the Lincolns with the Force Staff. So smartly played by him. He still has the lasso here. King RD's going to get used up, though. He gets a Tornado off as well. Will be forced back to the high ground, despite having the Rod of Aoi used on him from the Jakiro. And they should be able to make a defense for now. It'll be interesting to see whether THD wants to go in. Jubilee, you going to need a pause here. And it will be interesting to see how this plays out. Looks like THD is lagging a bit, and the issues have been rectified. A little bit of a puppy pause perhaps. Either way, collecting their thoughts. THD fixing some lag issues, and they will go towards this Rax and put a little bit of harass into the melee Rax. Melee Manta images as well going to be there, but they should get cleaned up fairly quickly. And they definitely are letting them put quite a bit of harass into that melee Rax. But this will regenerate up unless they commit fully to it. So Pain just waiting for them to overextend. They do have the Chronosphere. They do have the EMP. They do have the Exorcism. They have a lot of ways to deal with this high ground push. Repel going to be used on Liposa. He's going to put a Dual Breath into the wave and another Liquid Fire into that Rax. And Pain not looking to engage with that Repel up. Tornado, though, onto 2. There's an EMP as well. Yuka does pop the BKB. Nice Yule's dodge from Liposa, but a Chrono onto 2. And the Exorcism going to do a lot of work. Echo Slam, however, onto the Void and the Vengeful Spirit. They'll drop. Yuka's going to be able to get a Requiem off. Was it dodged by the Yules? It seems like it was. 4DR going to have to turn tail, though. There is no more BKB available on Yuka. He's going to get repelled up. He will Manta as well. One last right click, though, from King RD. 4DR Ultra kill on the Death Prophet. And They're going to go 4 for 2 thus far. It looks like there will be Ned in the trees. He has a blink as well. He should make it out just fine because they don't seem to be privy to his location. But a great high ground defense from Pain Gaming. They're going to see a 7,000 experience swing in their favor and a 3,000, almost 4,000, 3,800 gold swing going their way. They lose Grand XD, they lose the Vengeful Spirit to that beautifully placed Echo Slam from Vestius, but everyone else survives. They get this Chrono where Shadow Fiend is on the periphery of it, and it was beautiful. It allowed the Exorcism to come in from this direction, as well as the Invoker's toolkit. He got an EMP off in this entire area, and they were able to take down almost the entire lineup, only the Omni Knight surviving, and that is a huge defense for Pain Gaming. We'll take a look at the metrics. You'll see the spike back downwards towards 3,000 net worth lead, as well as the experience lead, and Roshan is up and has been scouted out by King RD. He's going to pop his Forge Spirits, which are pretty weak at this point, as he doesn't have max level, but he is level 20, so they're not absolutely something to scoff at. They don't have the Exorcism, however, and without the Exorcism, they're pretty poor Roche lineup. Flamebreak has scouted them out, though. Blink Force is available for Jubilee U, but he's got no backup, as most of his lineup was on this side of the map, so he's just looking to dissuade them from going for Roshan, and he is successful at doing that. Fortunately for him, VSW was not there at the time. If they were able to get a Wave of Terror to grab vision of him and swap him down, he was certainly dead. And they'll actually scout out with 4DR looking for him with the Shiva's Guard. And King RD will scout out Invisible. Is there a gem on the lineup for THD? There is not. There is only one in King RD's hands. There will be a jump down to clear up the wave by Jubilee U. He'll also force back. And it looks like there will be no engagements for the time being. 1,900 gold onto King RD. Aghanim Scepter is now up, though, for Ned. And this is a huge pickup for the lineup of THD because he doesn't need to be right there to mitigate the damage from the Chronosphere. And this is a very good pickup into the Death Prophet and the Void. So interesting stuff. This could be the trump card for THD. This could be what equips them to push high ground, and it may be exactly what they require at this point. Blink Arcane's Aghanims up on Ned's Omni Knight. He is third last on net worth, so has found quite a bit of efficiency in terms of picking up those items. He's just below his Bat Rider here. Has Grand XD found anything else? It doesn't seem like it since his Ogre Club. He's got 2,100 gold, so still saving buyback at this point, which is ready at a cost of 1,100. King RD going to be doing a bit of dewarding and will Ghost Walk away shortly thereafter. But he does have now the Cold Snap Forge Spirits up, so perhaps they're going to look to go into Roche here. Grant XD does jump into the pit. They know that the entire lineup of THD is top, as they killed off Baga. Sorry I missed that, guys, but either way, they do find a free kill on the silencer. The lasso was used, as well as the Shadow Blade, and it looks like we will see King RD back towards base to defend this for the time being. But Yuka just going to stand in the front lines with the repel active. They're going to use the glyph here. They're going to begin to TP back. Roshan is actually not going to be dropped here, so big commitment from Pain, and they're not going to find anything. EMP, however, going to go out onto Yuka, and it does drain most of his mana. The repel is a little bit too late from Ned. They do, however, lose their range racks. And in the meantime, the tier 2 bottom does go down. But either way, we could see an engagement. Top Fisher out onto VSW. They're just going to take out the melee racks with ease. And very interesting. No defense mounted here. Swap back, though, from VSW onto lead post. So they're going to force him down to the low ground. Jump in, though. Yule Scepter onto Jubilee U. He's going to get cold snapped as well. But again, a defensive force staff to the low ground. Fisher onto 4 from the low ground from Vestius. Been so good at that. But an immediate smoke from Pain, and this was definitely scouted by the units. Jubilee U, however, is susceptible to a magic missile. He's going to disjoint that with the blink. Tornado's going to go down. It's not going to hit anyone. Very nice reactions on the blink. It's actually going to hit Vestius on the very edge of its range. The Shivas will not, and THD will be able to engage after taking a free set of racks in the top lane. So very good turn of events for them. They do lose their tier 2 bottom. There is a big wave here, so they'll look to go farm that up for Yuka on the Shadow Fiend, who's already got Butterfly, Manta, BKB, and Shadow Blade. Probably will replace that Shadow Blade eventually, so I would say he's about 4 slotted at this point. But Pain seemingly are going to be able to find a Roshan off of this, as they saw the most of THD's lineup in that bottom lane. And they will give it over to the Void, so they're going to ensure that this Chrono gets up and perhaps allow him to buy the next item because he does have that second life. Jump in, though. Jubilee going to lasso up VSW. Nice silence, though. Chrono is on 2. Vestius is available from the outside, and they will use up the Void. They do bring one down. However, Grant XT going to be ice pathed up. It looks like he'll drop his Aegis here, and he does. However, he's going to respawn. And they could look to re-engage off this. King RD, 4-staff forward. He doesn't get the Tornado off, but they found the Earthshaker. And it looks like Vestius may go down. Either way, Yules onto Liposa. He's going to pop his BKB here, but they should be able to take him down. He's actually running pretty quickly with that Yules Scepter, and he does have a 4-staff, so we'll be able to disengage. And it looks like Vestius was able to TP back to base. So they really find nothing but a Roshan, and they're going to trade over the Aegis for an Omni Knight kill, which is certainly not exactly what Pain wanted there, and a nice disengage once again from THD, and Roshan is now off the map for at least 8 minutes. So very interesting stuff. Void does now pick up his BKB, so that will be available, and 40R has picked up a Heart of Tarask, so we'll be able to get a little bit more done with this exorcism, guys. But either way, things are looking scary still for Pain. We look at the metrics, things about even, so it really is anyone's game. But with the Repel and the Aghanim's Omni ult, they're going to be hard-pressed to find damage in these fights for the side of Pain. They're going to rely heavily on magic damage, which, excuse me, they don't have much of. And, yeah, they're going to have to use the exorcism very wisely. They're going to either have to wipe Ned early, as they did in that engagement, or silence him up with the Silencer ult, as well as the Orchid, as well as the DP ult. So they do have ways to deal with this, but if the GA gets off, they're probably going to be able to burst down 40R during that exorcism duration. And the Invoker can't do much with the BKBs out on both the Jakiro as well as the Shadow Fiend. So you do see Liposa with a BKB, Yuka with a BKB as well. We see an engagement here. 40R could find Yuka out. He could Orchid him up. Cold Snap. He's going to BKB instantly. It's only 5 seconds though, so it's no loss for the side of THD, and Pain will have to back out, worried about what looms in the shadows, which was the entire squad for THD. King RD once again postured up in the mid lane. He's got to invoke something here if he wants to go in. He does have a Diffusal Blade, so interesting pickup from him. And it is going to be used to dispel the Guardian Angel and the Repel from the Omni Knight. So very good pickup for King RD. And with the Orchid as well as the Phase and the Force, that's really all he needs as a Quaswas Invoker. The rest of his spell book will provide enough damage for him. So this Diffusal Blade is a very effective pickup. We'll see bots now picked up on 40R. He's found quite a bit of farm out of nowhere. 22,000. He got a couple multiple kills. He got that triple kill. He got an ultra kill in this defense for those Raxes. That first successful defense, and the one after, they didn't find much. But he's found a heart as well as Boots of Travel and his Shivas and his Lincolns. So is doing very well. Of course, that Yule Scepter picked up very early as well as the Lincolns. But does have quite a bit to survive and deal with this lineup from THD, sitting on 3,200 HP as well as 27 armor on that Death Prophet. Ned smoked up, looking for something here. 40R is going to show his face, but he does have that Lincoln Sphere available, so going to have to need a jump in from Jubilee U and the Force Staff to pop that Lincolns, as well as the Lasso to drag back this Death Prophet here. So going to be interesting to see. Once again, looks like THD going to need a pause for the Bat Rider almost right before an engagement. So we'll see what happens following this pause. Either way, we do have the Blink Force available from Vestius, so we have seen some really well-placed counter-initiating Echo Slams. We probably will see another in this matchup. There are no BKBs except for perhaps the Void. Yep, Grant XD does have a BKB, but nobody else on this lineup of Pain does, so they're all very susceptible to that Echo Slam. We will see a go from Jubilee U and THD, and things will be unpaused here from King RD. So we'll see if 40R gets initiated on, and it doesn't look like that'll be the case at this point. Yuka's going to TP back. They're going to think better of it. Their mid lane is pushing in quite heavily, so Yuka is going to clean that up. Gem is now picked up here, so they're looking to establish some map control before they go into the base for the side of THD. Vest just going to ferry out that gem, and a Daedalus is on the courier for Yuka as well. This is a big pickup. He's more or less 6 slotted at this point. He can get rid of that Shadow Blade and can upgrade to perhaps Boots of Travel, but Yuka, very fat, 26,500 net worth on the Shadow Fiend. And then we will look to see if Pain are able to recover from this. Grant XD still lacking damage heavily. Does now have the BKB, so can put a few right clicks into his chrono target and will be able to not be deterred by the Fissure or the Ice Path. But either way, they have scouted out Jubilee. He will Firefly up to the high ground, so should be just fine for now. There's no swap available. Yuka is going to pick up that double damage rune and was not scouted out, it seems. So we will see Pain safely rotate back through their woods. VSW on the Vengeful Spirit was looking perhaps toward that cliff, but forces downwards, thinking better of it and not playing too riskily. And we will see King RD clean up the wave with a meatball here. So still pushing back the units from THD. Liposa will return the favor with that dual breath and liquid fire combo and will burn down most of the wave there. Roshan still not up for a little while. 2.5 minutes until we see the spawn timer here. And so perhaps that's the next objective for both teams. Pain do have a very good turtling lineup, but they have smoked up here and they are looking to find someone. Nice blink out there from Vestius. Doesn't look like they'll find anyone. Tornado's going to go out. It won't hit. It actually splits the wickets on everyone, and Pain will certainly have to retreat here. We'll look to see if there's a re-engage from the side of THD. Eul Scepter has popped. Or the Lincolns has popped. Eul Scepter up to 4DR. Will there be a lasso here? No. Jump forward. Gren XD is going to Chronosphere. Lasso is going to land back, but it's going to get swapped out. Liposa is going to go down, but Gren XD dies as well. 1-for-1. Core Jakiro for the Faceless Void. Jakiro has the buyback available, though. And here comes the Requiem of Souls. It's going to smash the lineup of Pain. They're going to run and turn tail. King RD going to drop to one last right click. He won't get the Ghost Walk off in time. Exorcism not doing any work as the GA is available. They may be able to bring down Ned, but Pain 4DR is going to have to run back. VSW does drop to a few more right clicks of Yuka, and this Shadow Fiend is just far too fat. Baga is caught in no man's land, and Ned will finish him off as he purifies Jubilee U. And that's a 4-4-2 going the way of THD. We only have a buyback available on the Invoker at the moment, and a 2,000 experience swing going in their favor, 3,000 net worth swing. There come the Boots of Travel for Yuka. He's essentially 6-slotted. He can replace this Shadow Blade at some point. Instant buyback from King RD, but we don't have buybacks from anyone else on the side of Pain, and this could be their downfall. However, of course, THD, they are not aware of the fact that the buybacks are down. It's because they are down by virtue of gold and not cooldown. So interesting. They won't push up to the high ground. They don't want to force anything. Looks like I'm lagging a bit here, guys. Hopefully this will subside soon. And I could possibly have a Dota crash. So this could be extremely unfortunate. This is a pretty crucial time. Panic for me in Twitch chat, boys. And here we go. Things looking to rectify here. And pretty big lag problem. That's absolutely fucking terrible, if I might swear, for this moment. But hopefully I can get this guys fixed. It doesn't look like I'm dropping any frames, so I'm just going to try and reconnect to this game real quick. Thanks for your patience, guys. This is pretty stupid and unfortunate now. I'm hoping the game has been paused and it's not only me. But either way. We're back in the game. Does seem like there was an engagement middle lane. And things are starting to pan out. Yuka is not in this fray right now. And the Vestius Earthshaker will go down here to the side of Pain, so they don't lose any Raxes. Look at the buyback scenario here from both teams, and it looks like the Death Prophet did buy back for 4DR. Her buyback's on cooldown. We did see the Invoker buyback before that lag, so sorry about that, guys. Either way, back into the game Take a look at the net worth chart. It has spiked in THD's favor, and so it didn't look like Pain found too much there. Perhaps they just caught out the Omni Knight and the Earthshaker. Yuka is just fine, so maybe he did BKB TP out. He did not die in that last engagement by all accounts. Roshan up in 1:30, and Grant XD has not found much else. He's got 2,300 gold on this Void, and he still has that buyback available, so didn't have to use it. Was able to respawn there. Either way, Yuka, 30,000 net worth, 4,400 gold in tow. Probably will get rid of this Shadow Blade. I could certainly see a Desolator pick up here. That would help with the push, and it would help the Manta Illusions push. It would also make him hit like an absolute truck. Not that he already doesn't. He's sitting at 412 damage right now with his items in tow, and with 36 souls from the Necromastery. So this SF is absolutely monstrous at this point in the game. Vestius still has just the max mobility mill with the Force Staff as well as the Blink Dagger. Jubilee U has finally picked up a BKB of his own, so interesting to see how many BKBs there are on a team with an Omni Knight. Jakiro's got that BKB. Jubilee U has his as well, as does Yuka. Jubilee U stalking the bottom lane. He's got Ned waiting in the wings as well as Liposa. They don't quite have the kill potential for anyone but a support with the tandem of these three. And we'll see a Sunstrike. Gonna scout out the Roshan. They will ping it out from the side of THD. And Jubilee U gonna look for an initiation here. However, Pain will be the ones to jump the gun. Fisher blocks off King RD. They're going to bring back Baga. He's going to get swapped out. However, nice global silence. Will Liposa be brought down by 4DR? He is getting chased down through the BKB, and he will get brought down. Jubilee U trying to fly away from the side. And it looks like it'll just be one clean pick for Pain Gaming. Vestius going to TP out here. Jubilee U is going to get scouted by the Wave of Terror, but it actually doesn't connect. And he could get used here. 4DR is ready with the silence as well. He will get Crypt Swarmed. He does Force Staff to the low ground. Grant XD going to go right into the pit. They're going to chase back the lineup of THD here. Shiva's Guard is available. There's also a Purge onto Jubilee U. They're going to have another one there. Tornado's going to lift him up in the air. Deafening Blast. Few more right clicks. Jubilee U going to fall. And that's a 2-0 going the way of Pain. This is huge. Grant XD also into the pit. Has already been chunking into Roshan. There is some TPs back here from 4DR. He's going to look to defend these tier 4s as Yuka was walking towards them. And Yuka will think better of it. They will scout out the Roshan pit. Vestius is here, but he's going to get orchided up. And he's going to die as he walks into the fog. So, fear what cannot be seen. And the Aegis is on the ground as they organize this. Cheese going to go towards VSW. PMS going to be dropped. And Grant XD will take the immortality once again. Huge fight for Pain. 3-0 in the bot lane. Jubilee U was waiting to find a lasso. He did find one on Baga. Instantly swapped out by VSW. They also find Liposa as they force forward with the Invoker. And the Exorcism actually finally did a lot of work. You saw the use of that Diffusal Blade from King RD in that engagement. It's now down to 5 charges, but was very effective. And he certainly has more than enough for both buyback and an upgrade on that Diffusal Blade. So he probably will keep some of his gold for now. He can sell this urn and perhaps at least go for the Boots of Travel for the Rat or the reinitiation, but these waves aren't going to be pushed out by the time THD looks to go high ground, and perhaps maybe it's Pain's turn to force the issue. Yuka waiting in the tree line along with Ned here. They could go for an attempt onto 40R, but he's just going to pop the Manta, push the wave out a bit, and TP back. All the waves being pushed out currently by Pain. Liposa is pushing out the bottom wave for THD here, and he will be pretty successful in doing so as no one is ready to take to this bot lane. Finally, 6 slotted is Yuka. He's now picked up the Satanic, so almost giving him what is essentially an extra life here, and that will be absolutely huge for this SF. Not too worried about that low duration on the spell immunity. Now with the GA up, he should be able to get quite a few right clicks off with that Satanic, and only takes about 4 or 5 for a full HP pool, as it is quite a bit of lifesteal, 175%, and with what he's hitting for, 175% of about 420 damage, or 410 damage I should say, at this point is quite a bit. So he's looking at almost 200 health per right click. So very good item pickup for him. He's finally 6 slotted. We will have a Ghost Scepter as well on Ned for that Exorcism, so we will be able to mitigate a lot of that damage. Grant XD in the front lines clearing the wave out. He can get lassoed here, but there is an Aegis, so not the most ideal target for Jubilee U. We'll watch Jubilee for now and see if he's able to find someone. It doesn't seem like that'll be the case. Swap back onto Liposa. He's going to Yules up defensively, though. EMP is going to be there. Silence is going to pop, but he's going to BKB to get that off. Gren XD is chasing him down with a few right clicks. Jubilee has been found on the sidelines as well, and it looks like THD's entire lineup is turning tail here, folks, and looking to run. Deafening Blast is going to whiff as the Ghost Scepter is popped. And will 4DR be able to find anyone? It doesn't seem as so. Yule Scepter up onto King RD. He's going to get the Orchid up on Vestius, though, who is going to get healed a bit. Jump down, though. Chrono is only going to land on one from Gren XD, and they're only going to find the Fisher here. He's going to walk back through the Chrono to avoid the lasso. Jubilee U looking for a return kill. Will he find anyone? Gren XD is here, but he does have Aegis. He's looking for King RD. He can drag him up to the high ground where the SF waits for the side of THD. Will he choose to do so? He does. He jumps forward. He grabs up King RD. Refresher, though, from Baga. Requiem is going to pop. Will they be able to bring one down? Only the Vengeful thus far. Gren XD manning up. He's going to time walk away. These BKBs are going to wear down. King RD and 4DR looking to go forward. Or a Cold Snap, and the Orchid is dodged with the Manta by Yuka. He's going to get cursed up. King RD is going to drop in the back lines. Nice Cyclone up onto the Yuka. He's going to survive. 4DR going to have to run here. Instant buyback from King DR, however, and the BKBs are down. Aegis is going to get popped by Gren XD. King RD going to have to wait until that is back up, and Gren XD actually going to get chomped down pretty heavily. He bops the BKB a little late. He will finally post on the backside, and Yuka will put some right click punishment into Baga, who he has no more mana, no Satanic, no BKB. King RD may be able to finish him off here. Ned is available. Nice silence by 4DR. He will get the Omni Knight, and he cyclones him up to boot. And this is disaster for THD. Pain looking extremely proficient with their late game decisions. And thank God I'm not lagging for that one, folks. That is a massive team fight. One buyback used on the Void. Gren XD is actually going to drop here. And it looks like he fell to the Mega Creep. So very interesting. Sorry I didn't catch that, guys. He does have buyback. Taking a look at the buyback situation for everyone. SF's buyback is up. Jakiro's buyback is up. Ned's is down, however, for the Omni Knight. And Pain, unfortunately, is going to have to push out these lanes. There is a refresher pickup here for the Death Prophet. She will be able to push into the mid if she chooses to do so. Perhaps just to force buybacks, but that won't happen. Vestius perhaps looking to Echo Slam up King RD here. He does. He'll drop an intense totem shot as well as the Fisher, and one more right click. Huge solo kill here from Vestius. He will get hit by the Shivas, however. He won't be able to blink out. Crypt Swarm also going to hit him, but actually just going to back off from 4DR. He knows there may be backup from the Bat Rider in tow. Either way, I don't believe the Bat Rider and Vestius have the kill potential onto 4DR, especially with the Boots of Travel and the Exorcism. So interesting to see 4DR back off that early. Probably could have found a return kill on Vestius with no consequences, but either way, Liposa back up, gonna look to push this bot lane, and now things looking very grim for Pain. With Gren XD dying there, they're going to need to bring him back up. 8 HP is their last tier 4. So this thing is more or less dead right now. But it is keeping the Ancient from being exposed at this point. Liposa going to blink forward, push the lane out bottom. MKB now picked up by the Void. So he finally has a supplement to his damage after that Maelstrom, which was picked up around the 25-minute mark. And he will be able to right-click into Yuka now. But I'm not sure that things can go as well as they did in that last engagement for Pain. Jubilee looking for a target. He could find Baga here. Jumps forward. Finds a silencer. This is a huge target if they're able to bring him down. He does have buyback available, however. And the Guardian Angel is popped. Jump forward, though. Will the Chrono be popped? It does, but Gren XD. But nothing going to come of it. And it's actually pretty much just a wasted Chrono. Exorcism going to be refreshed here for 4DR, but the Ice Path lands onto Gren XD. Silence is a little late. Nice swap by VSW. Gren XD going to go down either way. And Yuka going to chase down VSW as well as Baga and 4DR. Ice Path's going to land on 2. Very well placed. And it looks like this should be over for Pain. No buybacks available for them. THD going to be too much for Pain to handle. 4DR going to be the last to drop as the Ancient falls. Will he survive? He is able to get up to the high ground, and THD Gonna come back and split the series 1-1 and save your rares. For those of you who bet on, the house is down. Really excellent Brazilian Dota. Sorry for the lag issues for the moment, guys. But they will, according to this effigy here, placed by Pain, decapitate them in Game 2, winning in 60 minutes. Very well played from THD. They knew how much was expended by Pain in that last huge engagement, which took the fight in their favor. And they march right back up mid as they respawn with buybacks at the ready with the Guardian Angel Aghanims upgrade. And they're able to bait out a terrible chrono from Grant XD, which got no follow-up. And they pick off the silencer very early, so a little bit of a mistake from Baga positioning himself there. But either way, guys, I am Maurice, please, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster. You can follow me over at MRP_Dota on Twitter. I appreciate the support so much, guys. This is HeflaTV, and we've had a great day of some Brazilian Dota here. Tied 1-1. THD now 4-2 overall in the series. Pain is now 5-3, so they'll take one game each, and they're both in pretty good standing still to make top 4. I'll post in chat for you guys the current standings for the JDL Season 4. Once again, join Dota League Season 4, guys. I am Orange, please. This is HeflaTV. Please join us tomorrow. We'll be over on HeflaTV 1. Actually, not even far from now. In 4 hours from now, HeflaTV 1. Team Malaysia versus Rave. Big game in the MPGL, which is just starting now. We will have all the coverage for you for that tournament, so I appreciate all your support, guys. Follow me over on Twitter at MRP_Dota and follow HeflaTV on Facebook and Twitter. Appreciate it, guys. We'll be around fairly soon on HeflaTV 1. That's about 2 hours and 12 minutes from now with that MPGL game. I love y'all. Much love and Kappa. This is More Rage, please. Signing out.